Hey, this is Nick from the Swellers, and you're watching Bring the Noise. It's been really good. The Blackout guys were all really awesome. We hadn't met them prior to the tour, but we'd heard them on the internet, and we've heard of their band from when they toured in the States. And we just did the Young Guns tour a few months ago, and then heard that Blackout's doing really well too. So we figured we love touring here, and we really, love just playing to new people, regardless of how the bands sound. I mean, High Road to Hero, he's a rapper, and then the Blackout, they kind of have their own kind of big rock sound, and we're kind of a punk rock band. But yeah, we figured it'd be a good tour to expand our audience, and it definitely helps that everybody on the tour is so awesome and really helpful, and we feel very at home. It's good. This tour, I think I think I've learned to just accept that I can make mistakes. There was a couple of instances on the tour where I said something on stage and I was wrong about something, like when I was in Northern Ireland and I called it Ireland, and to me there's no difference. Obviously there's a difference in the two places, but I thought maybe calling it Ireland would just be the shorter version of saying Northern Ireland, and people were like, oh, make sure you don't ever say that again. And I was just like, fuck off. Like, seriously? Like, why you gotta be such pussies about that? That's no big deal. But, then you gotta realize different places, you have different cultures, different things have happened. It's kind of like going to the States and making jokes about 9/11 or something. Yeah, it's just too soon, I guess. But, yeah, just kind of learned how to, just pretty much shut up and learn what's going on and listen more than open my mouth, because it's especially important when you're in a new place. The previous album basically was just kind of about everything we've ever really written about, just in a more encompassing way. So with the new one, we definitely wrote a lot of songs, but only a certain 10 made the album, and we needed to make sure that they flowed from beginning to end, and there was no song that was completely out of place. So this time we wanted to make sure that we made a record that went from track 1 to track 10 and there was no filler and nothing strange about it. It was just the most perfect record we could make with the songs that we have. But there's always things that we wanted to stray away from as soon as it became a little bit too overdone. Like, we've never really written songs about girls, being straight up about it. There's definitely songs about relationships and things on our new record. With politics, same thing. We've definitely, as we've gotten older, we don't want to be just shoving different, viewpoints down people's throats. We'd rather just kind of be vague and ambiguous about it. Things like that. Also, one thing that really bothers me are bands that write songs about being on tour and being on the road. And I was like, we can never ever have a song like that again, because we get it. You're in a van, you drive a long way, you don't make money. Like, I've heard it 40 billion times. So yeah, we made sure not to put that on the record. Yeah, there's just, it's so easy to write a song these days when you're a white kid in the world who doesn't have a ton of problems. It's like, oh, my friends aren't so cool, and high school was so terrible, man, it was a drag. But I don't want to hear that stuff, so I'm not gonna sing about it. But yeah, I don't know, we just kind of wrote what we felt like writing, and whatever came out was kind of exactly what we wanted. We just have one new song that we're playing. We haven't even released any of them online yet, as far as, for download or stream, because the record just got done being recorded. But the song that we've been playing is called The Best I Ever Had, and it's kind of just about growing up and how kind of music kind of influenced you and kind of made you decide this is going to be a big part of my life, and just about things changing and how sometimes you kind of wish you could go back. So that's been a theme in a lot of Swellers music, actually, is just kind of trying to hold on to that inner child that you have, because a lot of people, they try to grow up, get married, and get lame really fast. But yeah, being on the road and touring has definitely kind of given us a little bit more of an outsider's perspective. we know that we didn't have to go to college to be successful. We didn't have to get married and have kids to be taken seriously. But you know, that's us saying that now, but we're going to be like 40 years old and finally starting to go to school and, you know, maybe get married when we're like 50. But yeah, that's about that. I think the Swellers are, and probably will be, to me, the one band that just always did stuff our way and didn't ever follow any trends. We've been a band for 9 years, and we've always kind of had the same influences in the same vein, and we're just still going and still going. And any success that we've had, it's been very mild success, but any success that we had is because people like the songs that we're putting out, and there's no gimmicks, there's no big money behind us, it's just the songs. So I think maybe if the Swellers broke up and stopped making music today, kids could go, wow, those records had some good songs, and that's about it. And that's all we care about. You know, we care about playing our music, and we care about making good songs, and that's it. I think maybe eventually down the line, you know, because right now with the Swellers, we're having a total blast doing it our way and making our own songs. But you know, if we keep doing this for a couple more years and we're completely broke and nobody's interested in what we're doing anymore, you know, what's the point of being on the road 9 months out of the year like we are now? So if you said to me, hey, you're at the end of your line, I can make you a star, you just have to play terrible music, awesome. You know, like, that's awesome. Like, I've been doing this for nearly a decade. You know, it's always fun to try something new. And, you know, there's people who say it's really fun to have a hit. You can live the rest of your life if you have this hit song or do something in the music industry, because someone's going to like it. That's why you're making money. There's somebody that enjoys themselves. And I don't know if there's much music that is out there that I absolutely hate or despise. Like, I love pop music, I like hip-hop, I like all kinds of stuff, and that's the kind of music that makes money these days. Obviously there's these new kind of pop-punk, hardcore, metalcore, breakdown, like wussy but heavy kind of sounding bands that are taking over right now, and I can't get behind that, but I don't think people will for much longer anyway, so whatever, it's all good. Like, the one thing that makes this awesome, what we do, is the fact that I'm making a living playing my guitar, which to me, I didn't think that was ever possible. You know, my parents bought me my first guitar when I was 10 years old, and, you know, I plucked around on that, played some Nirvana songs, and to think now that is my life. My life revolves around this instrument that I learned how to play 14 years ago. That still blows my mind, and there's not many people in the world who get to play the really cool stages we do. The fact that we sign any autographs for anyone is pretty crazy. I kind of took it for granted, actually, on this tour. I was like, yeah, cool. But when I sat down and thought about it, I was like, these people, they want my name on a piece of paper because they think I did something cool, which is really, really awesome. Like, I could go back to my old school and ask, yeah, in the past 10 years, how many autographs did you sign? And people don't do that, so it's kind of cool that I get to do it. I mean, I don't think I'm, you know, worthy of signing autographs. Like, I'm just a dude who eats burritos and plays Nintendo Wii. There's nothing amazing about us. We're just normal dudes. But the one thing that does suck is the kind of lack of privacy. If we were to be a bigger band, you know, me and myself and my family and my friends would kind of be in a spotlight, sort of. So it's like, if we ever achieved mega fame, I'd almost want to be anonymous. I'd like my music to be famous, but I don't want people knowing who I am. You know, I like living a normal life, but, you know, luckily I haven't had to deal with that sort of thing. And also, I'd really love to be able to not be away from home so much, because I'm paying to live in a house that I don't get to live in while I'm away from it. I have a girlfriend back home that I'm madly in love with that I just don't get to see very often anymore. Well, I never really have. You know, I've been on tour for pretty much the last 5 years of my life. So there's definitely upsides, like, this is cool, people don't get to do this, I'm having a good time. And then the downsides, like, man, I've never felt what it feels like to settle down, ever. I've never had more than 2.5 months off. So yeah, those are the ups and the downs, and they're pretty extreme, but the middle ground is pretty good, so that's why we still do it. Cool.